Live from the Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is KCAL9 News at 8.
Now 8 o'clock, reduced to rubble. An explosion sparks a fire and destroys a Claremont home.
I spoke with the orthopedic surgeon. Her legs were crushed under the tree.
Tonight, a woman is recovering from serious injuries after a giant oak tree collapsed on her as she was taking a stroll in Glendale. Mountain
lion mayhem in Azusa. A cougar is caught on camera before being captured.
Hello, everybody. I'm Elsa Ramon.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jeff Vaughn. We begin tonight in Claremont, where a man came home to no home today.
A powerful explosion took out his house and even some of his neighbors' windows. That started a fire, and smoke could be seen coming from West 12th Street and Harvard Avenue.
KCAL9's Tina Patel spoke with a homeowner tonight who says he feels lucky.
Fortunately, no one was home at the time of the explosion or the fire that soon came after. But take a look at this home and you can see that it is a loss. Now, we talked to some neighbors who say it sounded like there was kind of an explosion. When they came out, they saw a lot of smoke, and then that fire soon afterwards engulfed the home. Take a look at this video from Sky 9 and you can see that there was debris over several parts of this neighborhood. We're actually told several homes had windows blown out. Unfortunately, investigators have not been able to figure out just what caused the explosion. We talked to the homeowner who says he has no idea what happened.
You know, we have really no idea exactly how anything like that would have possibly started. Your gut reaction is, okay, well, it's a total loss. I don't think it's really hit me quite yet.
The homeowner says he does know how lucky he is that he was at work when all this happened, and he's grateful that none of his neighbors were injured. Again, the investigation's still ongoing. Fire investigators working with both Southern California Edison and the gas company. In Claremont, Tina Patel, KCAL9 News.
A Glendale woman is recovering from major surgery after a 60-foot oak tree fell on her.
KCAL9's Jeff Nguyen spoke with the woman's partner about how she's doing tonight.
Tonight, these barriers sit around this downed tree that sent a woman in her mid-70s to the hospital. Earlier, we spoke to her partner, who told us the victim enjoyed coming here because it allowed her to get some exercise and get close to nature.
She's under sedation.
Carolyn Dyer says she wishes she could trade places with Patricia Kennedy, her partner of nearly 20 years.
She went through massive surgery. She must have been in surgery 4 or 5 hours.
Kennedy has been at Huntington Memorial Hospital in Pasadena after this massive oak tree fell on her Sunday afternoon as she was taking a stroll through a cul-de-sac in Glendale.
I spoke with the orthopedic surgeon. Her legs were crushed under the tree, and 2 of her fingers. It's mainly the left side.
This damaged car gives you an idea how heavy the tree was. The freak accident happened right in front of Melissa Walsh's home.
You heard this crack, and I saw the woman kind of step back, rock back just enough, and cover her head, and the tree was on her. It was in seconds.
These trees are indigenous to this area, so neighbors say the rules for trimming them isn't so clear-cut because of state laws that protect them.
We have wanted and asked, and I know my neighbors have actively pleaded with the city to come and take care of this area.
And taking care of her partner is now a priority for Carolyn Dyer.
I don't know what her situation is going to be. I'm just scared because I want to make sure she can walk, and because she loves to walk and get around.
The tree that fell sits in an open space in the city of Glendale. The city will now consult with an arborist to see what caused this tree to come down. In the meantime, it will also look at the other trees in this area to see if anything can be done. In Glendale, Jeff Nguyen, KCAL9 News.
A very tough start to the week for one Orange County high school. Students brought flowers to place on their classmates' chairs at Century High in Santa Ana. This after 2 students were killed in a rollover crash in Tustin on Friday. Classmates held a moment of silence in honor of Peter Fuentes and Jason Aguiano. The crash involved 6 students from that school.
I was asking myself, why did these young boys die when they were going to graduate Century already?
Makes you appreciate life a bit more.
There's not an easy answer for this. We're going to do the best that we can to support the students to come around them.
Police say speed was a factor when the car first hit a cement pole, then a parked truck before it flipped. There were 7 young people inside, aged 17 to 19. 3 survivors had minor injuries, 2 others were more serious.
Well, now to this story tonight. Spotted in Seal Beach, a pair of whales are the talk of the town. People coming out to see those two enjoying the shallow water. KCAL9 Orange County reporter Michelle Gili joined the whale watchers today.
The whales have been swimming up and down the San Gabriel River all day today, at one point going about a quarter mile up, as high as the bridge near the marina. As news choppers circled overhead, 2 gray whales played in the shallow surf near the mouth of the San Gabriel River in Seal Beach. It was a rare treat for the Talmadge brothers here on spring break from Chicago. Have you ever seen a whale?
Never, because I haven't been in the ocean for since I was a baby, and I didn't see a whale then, so this is my first time.
Seeing it out there just randomly, it's very mesmerizing.
It's the second day in a row for a whale sighting. There was definitely one here Sunday. When lifeguards got to work this morning, the whale had brought a friend along. Both are about 25 feet long. A crowd on the jetty got an up-close view.
I was telling my boyfriend, why are all these people here? I was like, is it like a yoga class going on or something? And I was like, we need to check it out.
It was the thrill of the day in Seal Beach. As word spread, people kept on coming.
It's very exciting to see wildlife in action. I feel for them. I hope they get out to the open ocean soon.
A whale expert says this isn't too unusual, especially with the heavy migration of whales happening now along our coast. They look healthy and don't appear to be stuck. The massive mammals are known to duck into quiet waterways every so often. This may simply be a case of spring cleaning.
What they're generally doing is trying to rub the barnacles off their body. It's a natural behavior for them to come in close and rub themselves on the bottom, sandy bottom.
Lifeguards say there is no need for concern at this point, and they're keeping a close eye on the whales. There is a lifeguard on a personal watercraft who periodically goes up and down the river to make sure that there's no one on a boat or a paddleboard getting too close to these whales. For now, it's a wait-and-see game. In Seal Beach, Michelle Gili, KCAL9 News.
The Trump administration is joining nations around the world in taking action against Russia for a nerve gas attack on a former Russian spy in Britain. That move is said to be the largest U.S. expulsion of Russian diplomats in history. KCAL9's Kenneth Craig reports.
President Trump ordered 60 Russian diplomats believed to be spies out of the U.S. Monday, giving them just 7 days to return to Moscow, 12 of them based at the United Nations in New York.
With these steps, the U.S. and our allies and partners around the world make clear to Russia that actions have consequences.
The action was in retaliation for a nerve gas attack on a former Russian spy and his daughter in Britain earlier this month that left both hospitalized in critical condition.
It was a reckless action. It endangered not just 2 individuals who were poisoned, but many civilians, many innocent civilians.
The Trump administration also ordered the Russian consulate in Seattle to be closed due to its proximity to a submarine base and Boeing. Russian citizens rushed to the consulate earlier in the day to get their passports.
I came to work, I asked my manager, she's like, go pick up your passport right away. So I got it, I'm so happy.
The president's move followed a controversial phone call last week in which he congratulated Russian President Vladimir Putin for his re-election victory.
We want to have a cooperative relationship. The president wants to work with Russia, but their actions sometimes don't allow that to happen.
Russia's ambassador has called the decision a grave mistake and says Russia will retaliate in kind.
Kenneth Craig, KCAL9 News.
The family of a man fatally shot by Sacramento police have hired a prominent civil rights attorney. The shooting sparked days of protests. Officers shot 22-year-old Stephon Clark March 22nd. Well, they say the Clark was pointing a handgun at them. Turns out all he had was a cell phone in his hand. Police shot him 20 times. This in his grandmother's backyard.
They didn't have to kill him like that. They didn't have to shoot him that many times. Why did you just shoot him in the arm, shoot him in the leg, send a dog, send a taser? Why?
This is reminiscent of so many police shootings of unarmed black and brown people.
Well, their attorney Ben Crump has represented families in other controversial shooting cases, including Trayvon Martin. Michael Brown and Tamir Rice.
Linda Brown, the child behind the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education, has died. Brown's case led to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in 1954 that school segregation was unlawful. As a child in Topeka, Kansas, Brown was forced to attend a black elementary school that was much farther from a white campus that was just blocks from her family's home. Her family sued. Brown died yesterday at the age of 76.
Carl's Jr. is honoring Hollywood icon Steven Spielberg. Can you guess what the fast food joint is calling their new sliders? Spielberg sliders? Oh, there you go. Spielburgers. Hey, Evelyn.
I love that. Getting a look outside right now. Hey, guys, and it is clear, it is mild, it's breezy to windy. We've got offshore conditions. We're going to let you know how long these wind advisories are going to last when we come back.
The Trump administration responds after Stormy Daniels shared her story. I'm Weijia Zhang at the White House with why her lawyer says this is only the beginning.
Also, the feds launch an investigation into Facebook. Could it be the beginning of the end for the social network?
And here's a look at the best of LA and Orange County tonight at KCAL9.com, where we're always on. KCAL9 News at 8. We'll be right back.